Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, room shaker, room shaker, room shaker. I hope you are still around, room shaker. Room shaker. Excuse my table. Let me get the WD-40 for this goddamn table. I said I was going to do that months ago. Hold on, just a second. I don't know if room shaker is in the building. Hello, room shaker. But please do yourself a favor. Well, uh, what I'm going to say, room shaker, is understand that some people, I was told as a young girl that you never argue with people who are obviously crazy because people who are looking at the argument from a distance find it hard to distinguish who is the crazy person. So I understand. I understand wanting to get a bitch straight, but at some point, you have to realize that some people are just mentally ill. So I'm going to say that. So that's all I have for you, Room Shaker. I heard a piece of Room Shaker's commentary, and I'm going to drop some links in the chat for some people. I haven't heard any full content, but there are some people who went live today, so you may want to go over there and check out. I'll give you a little map. You may want to go over there and check out Room Shaker. Hold on, let me drop her link. You want to go over there. I see Stomp Down just completed his live. Let me see. Is her live up from today? No, it's not up from today. Okay, so go over there and subscribe to Room Shaker. Um, unfortunately, I don't. Unfortunately, it appears she took her live down from today, but go over there and support her. We know that Room Shaker has been giving a good commentary, so go over there and check her out. Here's Room Shaker's link. Let me give you Stomp Down's link. Stomp Down went live a few minutes ago. Oh, hold on. Stomp Down, let me find him. Go over there and check out Stomp Down. He has a live that he just completed a couple of minutes ago. So go over there and check out Stomp Down. And also, of course, our Very Carry. She does mind benders, and she's been coming on in the evening as well. So go over there and support Very Carry. She has great content, smart content, and she does a lot of games and good adult conversations. Sometimes things bust up over at Very Carey's, but she is in full control of her channel and her panels. So go over there and check out Very Carey as well. I hear that King Roman News on the go was live as well. So you may want to go over there and check out King Roman News. He went live today. So I all of these lives I have to catch up on myself. So these are some of the things that I will be catching up on. I also hear, oops, that's Very Carey again. I'm sorry. Uh, I don't know why it didn't give his link. Okay. Now, I also think that Miss T Velocity went live. So let me grab her. Did T Velocity, is there anyone here? I didn't see anyone drop down. I just may be speaking to uh, that fake bougie Negro who is always watching my channel as if I give a fuck because he can't create a channel of his own. I don't know why Very Carey keeps coming up. You guys really need to go over there and watch Very Carey. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't get a King Roman News link. I have his page up right here. Let me close this and reopen it. I'm like, what's going on? Let me see. Okay, here it is. Go over there and check out King Roman News on the go. Here you go. And Miss T Velocity. So that's my blueprint for today. Miss T Velocity. Let me see. Did she go live? Let me find out. It appears that she did not go live. Maybe they were referring to a older live. So X T Velocity, unless you saw her live from 22 hours ago. Now, okay, hold on. Now, I want to talk to you about our votes, voter suppression. That's what I want to talk to you about, voter suppression. So, if you're not aware, 4547 has uh, launched a campaign with his Department of Justice. And what they are going to do, they are going to get all the voter information from all the voters in all 50 states. And usually, what they do with this voter information that they get, they try to figure out who's who, if it's based upon your actual name, if it's a black sounding name, if it's in a black area of town, and then they purge you from the voting rolls. So we all know that a lot of people who voted for 4547 are on the FAFO fuck around and find out train of this administration. And a lot of people are not pleased with how their congressmen and senators have voted. So they are in a race to ensure that they keep control of the House and the Senate. So there is a big push to push people off the voting rolls, and there is a big push to gerrymander the districts. Now, you hear gerrymandering the districts a lot of times. We know that gerrymandering the districts are nothing new. But what is new under this gerrymandering of the districts, drawing the district lines to include or exclude certain people, and only allowing, well, this area is white up until this block, and then it goes over about 3 blocks and it goes down 4 blocks, just gerrymandering the district, choosing the voters that you want. So what's different about the gerrymandering of the district? Hey, Byron Lowe, thank you for coming in. What's different about the gerrymandering of the districts this time is that they're doing it when you do not align districts, when you do not adjust districts. The districts are supposed to be rewritten or change after the census. We take a census every 10 years. So, with them doing it now, it's because they understand that the things that they have done are not popular. So, 4547 reached out to Texas, Abbott, Governor Abbott, the governor who pretended as if everything was okay and hunky dory, and the federal government had given so much assistance in that flash flood that you don't hear about. I didn't get the final tally of the people who died in that flash flood that FEMA was not available for. That FEMA, the director of FEMA, never showed his face and took one question for. I haven't heard anything. They tried to drop these deaths under the carpet, sweep them under the carpet, and on to the next story. Have you noticed that? So there's that. Also, they have refused to give aid to a Baltimore. FEMA has turned down, is it Baltimore? It's not Baltimore, to a Maryland. Hold on. To Maryland. And they are, Trump administration denies disaster relief funds for Maryland flooding. I didn't know that there was any Maryland flooding, but I want to share this with you because they are unclear if it's the black governor who is requesting these funds, and that Maryland is a blue district, that they did not receive these funds. So we know that Christine Nome didn't send out a search and rescue team for 3 days for these people who drowned in a flash flood, where they needed the search and rescue immediately. They couldn't get it through because Christine Nome decided to put out a whole lot of red tape and paperwork to approve these teams to go out and search for people who may have been washed away in a flash flood. Bureaucracy of the bureaucracy that 4547 said that Washington was so full of, thus thousands upon hundreds of thousands of people lost their job because 4547 said that there was too much bureaucracy in the federal government. Okay, so let me share with you this. Let me share this with you, just in case you didn't know about this, and why I'm just trying to give you information about things that you don't know that can affect you and how you live your life. Now, I haven't heard anything else about what type of aid FEMA is giving in the Carolinas, but you do know that this administration feels that FEMA should be disbanded and the states should take care of themselves. So let's see how the states are going to take care of themselves with this flooding. Okay, let me make sure yes, I am sharing. Uh, let's go.
Westmore is slamming the Trump administration. This morning, Maryland Governor Westmore is slamming the Trump administration's decision to deny FEMA funding to his state. So this is in response to devastating flooding back in May. The governor had asked the federal government for millions of dollars to rebuild severely impacted roads, bridges, and also buildings in 2 counties.
I told the Trump administration directly that I thought this decision was petty, that it was partisan, and that there was no basis for it. It is unprecedented for a governor of Maryland to be able to put in for emergency disaster federal relief, especially when we not just hit the criteria, we exceed the criteria.
A FEMA spokesperson telling CNN when we had asked about this that it worked closely with Maryland officials to evaluate the request for aid, noting, quote, this decision, just like all disaster requests, was based on policy, not politics. Joining me now, the mayor of one of those Maryland towns hit very hard by this historic flooding is Judy Hamilton, joining us from Westernport. Madam Mayor, it's good to have you with us this morning. I see your town was hit hard. I mean, there was clear devastation in so many areas of the town. What is your understanding of why this FEMA request was denied? Was it policy or was it politics?
We really wasn't given a clear understanding. We are hoping it was not politics. During emergency disasters, politics should not play a part in it, regardless of what party you're associated with. We're very confused as to why it was not approved. We were hopeful, but that unfortunately we are going to fight and do the appeal process.
We mentioned, some of the things that the governor had put in terms of that request. I mean, this is directly what you saw in Westernport. We're talking about roads that are damaged, that were taken out. I know the number of residents had severe damage. They are trying to get hot water heaters replaced. They're trying to get the damage in their homes and businesses fixed. Where does all of that stand, given that these FEMA funds are not going to be coming through, at least as of now?
We have one road that is currently closed down without those FEMA funds. We're looking at a long period of time before it can be repaired. The town just doesn't have the income to do that. That road is a main road that is used by approximately 8 to 10 first responders to respond to emergency calls. Without the use of that road, they have to go a different route, which will add time onto the emergency response. So that is a concern of the town. The bigger concern is our residents. Most of these residents lost their furnaces. We've been working with Department of Social Service, County United Way, and several agencies that have made wonderful donations to supply appliances and hot water tanks. But the greatest concern right now is winter is approaching, and these homes are going to be without heat.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also
Okay, so that is your government at work saying that states should take care of their natural disasters as FEMA can't do it. They want to dismantle FEMA. FEMA isn't working. There's a fundamental problem with FEMA. So let's get to how your votes are being stolen. I did touch on their gerrymandering districts. 4547 said that he wanted to win at least 5 seats in Texas. And Texas, like I say, you're supposed to redraw your district only after a census. Why after a census is because in a census you know where everyone lives, how your state has grown, and what area your state has grown in. What blocks, what street, where are the concentration of people that may need more representation? Where so what they're doing now is they're gerrymandering it so they can make sure that Republicans win in the midterm. Hey, foot soldier, there is a flash flood warning as we speak right now. I'm sorry to hear that. I am very sorry to hear that. And this is what your government is doing. At the same time, while this is going on, At the same time this is going on, what else is your government finding money for? If you didn't watch Caroline Levitt, the lying press secretary this morning, they're spending $200 million to create a ballroom in the White House, and she had a specs, a little handheld a picture, and this is what it would look like, and it will be so beautiful. If you don't understand what else your government has money for. Let me mm, pull this up because you really have to see this. Okay, uh, your your government has taken 900 and some $1 million away from the nuclear readiness programs, nuclear not readiness, the people who um, make sure the silos where the nuclear weapons are not crumbling, or make sure that they are in good shape, to make sure the silos are tunnels dug down into the earth. They have to make sure that they are in good repair. Your government under 4547 has taken $900 million from the readiness and the upkeep of our nuclear weapons. For what? Let me uh, let me say. He's taking this money away uh, for that little jet that he got in Qatar. You remember they said that jet that he got from Qatar, it would need to be updated to a the grade of Air Force One, with all the protections that Air Force One has in it, and it's not slated to be done until the end of his presidency. So they're making a jet uh, presidential ready, and it won't be ready while he's in office. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? It is not expected that this jet will be retrofitted to Air Force One grade until around 2026, the end of 2026. And he is supposedly going to keep this jet that has been retrofitted to Air Force One grade. So, who is going to take all of this Air Force One grade equipment off the jet, and how much will it cost? Since he's no longer going to be president, he will not need all of those protections that they are going to spend billions of dollars to put on a free jet that he got, that he's able to keep, that your tax dollar is going to do you think he's leaving? Do you think he plans on leaving when he's retrofitting a jet that won't be ready until he's ready to leave office? What does that tell you? Okay, so what does this tell you? That he took 900 and some $1 million out of the nuclear readiness program to fix up this jet. Let me share my screen with you guys just in case you haven't heard this story. Nuclear safety funds. That's what the nuclear safety funds. Let's see what the nuclear safety funds do.
We keep nuclear weapons underground in this country, in big, they call them silos. They are shaped like farm silos that hold grain, but instead of going up, they go down. And all over the northern plain states, we have these underground silos, these massive underground fortresses, which hold huge nuclear-armed intercontinental ballistic missiles in Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota. And a lot of them, especially the first ones that we built, are up in that northern tier of the country because they are a Cold War relic. And the idea was that you'd want them in the inland northern tier of the US, so you'd have plenty of time to see any incoming threat to those sites flying in from either coast. So you wanted them way inland. But B, you also wanted them way north, so you could fire those intercontinental ballistic missiles north over the Arctic Circle as the fastest path to go hit Moscow, right? To go hit Russia, or I guess the Soviet Union, since it was a Cold War thing. And there were some earlier missile silos with different kinds of weapons, but mostly what we think of when we think of those nuclear missile silos on the northern plains, mostly what we think of are the Minuteman sites for these huge 50-foot-long nuclear-armed intercontinental missiles, the Minuteman missiles. And those Minuteman missile sites in Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, those started to go in the early to mid-1960s. And they are still there and still functioning today, because we as a country still have thousands of live nuclear weapons that we maintain in a constant state of readiness, because sure, why not? But if you're going to decide as a country to do that, one thing you can't then do is let those nuclear weapons and those nuclear weapons sites fall into disrepair, right? This isn't like old books or soccer balls that you stashed in a milk crate on a shelf in your garage and forgot about, and, you know, look, the mice got to them, right? These are real live nuclear weapons that need upkeep and modernization. They need care and tending. So a few months ago, there was a review of the physical condition of these decades-old silos, where to this day, we keep hundreds and hundreds of these huge nuclear weapons. And at the end of that review, the Air Force reported, we need to dig all new silos for our nuclear missiles. Turns out these silos we dug starting in the 1960s aren't going to last forever. They're leaking, they're crumbling, they're no place to keep live nuclear weapons and the crews that watch them and maintain them and stand ready to launch them 24 hours a day. So we need new silos. We need new physical sites for these ground-based nukes. And if that sounds expensive, you are right. But also you've got to, right? I mean, maybe we shouldn't actually have these nuclear weapons. That's an argument that might be worth having. But if we're not having that argument and we are going to keep these nuclear missiles, all these thousands of them, right, then we do have to keep them safely. If we're going to have the nukes, we've got no choice but to maintain them and upgrade them as needed to keep them safe. Right. Right. We can all agree on that. Right. Right. Well, President Donald Trump is now robbing the ground-based nuclear missiles safety and modernization budget for himself. He is robbing that budget. Quote, no one wants to discuss a mysterious $934 million transfer of funds from the Pentagon project to modernize America's aging ground-based nuclear missiles. But that amount, $934 million, was slipped into an obscure Pentagon document sent to Capitol Hill as a transfer to an unnamed classified project. In recent weeks, congressional budget sleuths have come to think that that amount almost certainly includes the renovation gold-adorned airplane from Qatar that President Trump desperately wants to be in the air before his term is over. Air Force officials privately acknowledge, quote, dipping into nuclear modernization funds for the airplane project. That's from reporters David Sanger and Eric Schmidt at the New York Times. And just to underscore that last point again, just in case that didn't sink in, they actually say it twice in the article. When asked last week, the Air Force said it simply could not discuss the cost or anything else about the airplane because it is classified. But Air Force officials privately concede that they are paying for the renovations of the Qatari Air Force One with the transfer from the Pentagon program to rebuild America's aging, leaky ground-launched nuclear missile system. So our aging, leaky, ground-launched nuclear missile system needs some attention, needs a little TLC, because, you know, they're huge armed nuclear missiles under the ground in Montana and Wyoming and all over the place in silos built for them, I don't know, 60 years ago. So they need a little TLC, our live nuclear weapons, but Trump is taking the money from that program for himself to instead fix up this plane that he wants, which, yes, he will use as Air Force One while he's president. But then, remember, he plans to keep it for himself after his presidency as part of his presidential library, which is a thing that does not exist. diverting $934 million in taxpayer funds from the Pentagon for nuclear weapon safety to instead making sure he gets the gold inlay he knows he deserves on the plane he plans to take with him when he goes.
Okay, the link is in the description box. That is the second link. They are all in order today, so I can get through this. Now, I want to let you understand what 4547 is. Hey, Buddha Bell is doing to try to rig these midterm elections. Now, it's going to cost hundreds. I think they said up to $1 billion to retrofit this plane. You see, he has already taken $930 million from our nuclear weapons readiness arsenal. So, do you think that this man is planning to leave office? This man. Okay, let me continue. Let me share with you what he positioned. What he proposed to Governor Abbott of Texas. Here we go. This is a congressman from Texas. Trump midterm cheat plan gets exposed by a Texas Democrat. Let's check this out real quick. This man, he was a congressman. I have played some of his comments several times over here. Okay.
Honey, I didn't cheat on you. Obama cheated on you. That's what Donald Trump is trying to do by distracting from the Epstein files and blaming Barack Obama for some coup that did not happen. And meanwhile, it's Trump who's trying to rig the next election again.
Clear about what's happening. Donald Trump is attempting to rig the next election. Mm-hmm. He and his allies in Congress just passed the largest transfer of wealth in American history with their big, beautiful bill. They're literally kicking millions of.
And they knew it wasn't popular. It would not be popular once these sycophants realized that it just didn't affect other people. It affects them as well.
People off their health care to fund tax cuts for billionaires. And they know it's unpopular, but they don't care because they have a plan. Donald Trump just called Governor Abbott and told him to redraw the political maps in Texas to gain 5 more Republican seats so they can protect their majority no matter what the election outcomes are.
That's Texas State Rep Tallarico telling it like it is. Trump calling Abbott and telling him just redraw the maps. Who needs elections when you can steal them?
I mean, this is the rot at the core of our broken political system. Politicians choosing their voters instead of voters picking their politicians. In any other industry, this would be called a conflict of interest. And so Democrats here in Texas are going to do everything we can to stop this power grab, because if it happens here in Texas, they're going to do it in every red state across the country. They're going to rig the 2026 midterms.
There you have it, folks. They're going to cut and paste.
Okay, so the rest of this link is in my description box. Please avail yourself to the remainder of this link. So, do you think that Greg Abbott actually did what was requested of him? Do you think Greg Abbott said, okay, boss? Do you think that he did that? I think he did do that. Why do I think he did that? I think he did that because I have the announcement of the new release of the new map. Let me share that with you. They got busy. Now, this was taken up. Greg Abbott added this to the agenda when they were having meetings about the flood and the flood relief that they bungled. And Greg Abbott rolled his ass in there and stuck this on the agenda as well. And I haven't heard anything else about the flood situation, but Texas GOP have released their new map that they were not supposed to be changing until after the census. This is very important. Let's share this. Okay, here we go.
Republican leaders in Texas showed their cards, laying out a proposed congressional map, redistricted, that could help them gain 5 additional House seats in next year's midterm. The tactic dates back to our founding fathers. It's called gerrymandering. It's one that the president has publicly supported for weeks now.
I think we get 5, and there could be some other states. We're going to get another 3 or 4 or 5 in addition. Texas would be the biggest one. And
so are you calling then for a complete redrawing of the congressional map ahead of next year?
Just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats. But we have a couple of other states where we'll pick up seats also.
But Democrats control some states too, and they say, hey, not so fast. We're going to fight back and change our maps to our advantage in places such as California, Pelosi's home state. We're going to ask Speaker Pelosi about that, as well as Speaker Johnson. Good to see you, Speaker Pelosi. Let's start with redistricting, because Texas Republicans earlier today unveiled their highly anticipated map of how they would redraw districts in their state to basically flip 5 Democratic House seats, make them Republican. Under this map, for example, is outrageous. Of their 2 congressional districts, 9 of them are Republican. That means 17.
Okay. Now we have to pay attention to what. Let me make sure my mic is on. You guys can hear what Nancy Pelosi says. You have to pay attention to this post from J.D. Vance, which makes absolutely no sense. So Gavin Newsom has come out and flaunted he's the governor of California. This cannot be done without your governor approving of the redrawing of these maps. So when you see that these Republicans are willing to do this, just like when you see the Supreme Court has been stacked with people who allowed the argument that a president can do anything that he feels is in his presidential powers, and he cannot be convicted when they were voting on that case that 45-47 brought to them, and that was their ruling. And when they were telling fucking Biden that he needed to stack the Supreme Court and widen the number of Supreme Court justices, you sit on your ass and you don't do what you need to do. You need to fight fire with fire. You need to start playing their game. So Gavin Newsom came out and said that he is going to play their game and do the same thing in California. And when Gavin Newsom said that, it's like, oh no, what are you doing? You can't do that. Let's hear what J.D. Vance had to say. Let's see this map a little bit. Okay.
Proposed new congressional map shows Republicans are indeed trying to gain 5 more congressional seats through partisan gerrymandering, which could help them hold on to their narrow majority in the 2026 midterm elections. Democratic governors in some states, such as California, are vowing to do the same. One Democratic lawmaker describing it as a redistricting arms race. Today, Vice President J.D. Vance tweeted, "The gerrymander in California is outrageous. Of their 2 congressional districts, 9 of them are Republican. That means 17% of their delegation is Republican. When Republicans regularly win 40% of the vote in that state, how can this possibly be allowed?" Unquote. And this drew a reply from California Governor Gavin Newsom, who wrote, "Try again, dum-dum," unquote, with an image of a map that shows that the most gerrymandered states are, in fact, Republican ones. If you look closely at that, you'll see that there is an exception there for Illinois, which is quite gerrymandered. House Speaker Mike Johnson joins us now from Bossier City, Louisiana, where he just met with his constituents and community leaders and business.
Okay, so the link is in my description box. I'm gonna move on because I have a couple of more things that I have gone under the radar about this gerrymandering in Texas. Okay. So you hear what Gavin Newsom is doing, but you may not have heard this story. Okay. So here we go. This is on the Midas Texas candidate won't be silenced after arrest and hearing. So they were having a hearing about this gerrymandering, and I think he's a candidate, a congressional candidate. This black man in the middle, right here, and he got up and he was voicing his dissent about what they were trying to do, and they arrested him. Uh, did you hear about this? They arrested it. They held him for over 8 hours, and then he came out ready to fight the charges. There were no charges put on him. But let's see what they did to him for voicing his opinion. I don't know if you guys have seen this or heard about this, but let's watch this. Tell a friend what they are doing. Now, I have something else about what they are doing to black already elected. He's just a candidate. I have another story about what they're doing in Memphis to an already elected black official who they plan to do some private public work that includes his district, and they did not allow him into the meeting where they were discussing this. And this is done. This project is a Elon Musk project, pretty much like the other Elon Musk Grok project that was thrown into another black congressman district without anybody in the district knowing about it, including him. So Elon Musk owns Tennessee. But let's get to this story.
Not remember you kindly for what you have done. They will not. As a matter of fact, history might not remember you at all.
Isaiah Martin was speaking out against President Trump's calls to add more Republicans to Congress through redistricting.
You need to have shame. History will not remember you for what you have done. It is a shame. It is horrific for what you have.
Martin now faces misdemeanor charges of resisting arrest, criminal trespass, and disrupting a meeting.
It's Ken Harbaugh with the Midas Touch Network. How many?
Okay, this is on the Midas Touch Network too. These are the things that they said they were charging him with. These are the charges that they said. Okay, criminal trespassing. This is a public meeting. Let's see what they're charging him with at a public meeting. It's funny how these elected officials make up rules on the fly where you can't speak. I told you how when they put the motion on the floor to release all the Epstein files, instead of dealing with the motion in any way, the chair of the committee adjourned the meeting after the motion was put on the floor and left the room and had to come back and deal with the motion that was put on the floor anyway. See, they would like to do whatever they want to do. And this is what these Republicans are actually trying to do. Let's hear what he was charged with again.
Criminal trespass and disrupting a meeting.
It's Ken Harbaugh with the Midas Touch Network. How many times have I said on this show that we need more Democratic leaders with some fight in them? You might have seen my interview a few months ago with Isaiah Martin, who you just saw in that viral clip. If you had any doubt back then about Isaiah's willingness to fight for his constituents, for democracy, well, he put those doubts to rest at that hearing in Texas, led by Republicans intent upon forcing through one of the most egregious gerrymandering schemes in our nation's history on the orders of Donald Trump. I spoke with Isaiah after he was released from jail and cleared of all charges. Here's our conversation. Welcome to the Ken Harbaugh Show. I've got Isaiah Martin back. You just saw that unbelievable clip of Isaiah being dragged to the ground for speaking the truth by calling out this offensive, outrageous attempt to subvert democracy in Texas by stacking the deck against Democrats and for Republicans, leading to a dramatic overrepresentation of ours in that delegation. And Isaiah and other Texans are having none of it. But the very act of speaking up merited that kind of violence. Isaiah, first of all, I'm sorry you went through that. I know you're strong and you're resilient and you're able to laugh about it now. But take us back to that moment. I mean, it was just a few days ago. Yeah. It is it can be terrifying because you don't know how it's going to go. You don't know if some overzealous cop is going to decide to make a name for himself, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, going to jail wasn't on my bingo card for this year, but.
And let's call a thing. This reporter know that he could have been taken out by an overzealous cop, and they would have whitewashed that away. They would well, he should have. Well, how come he didn't? Well, he didn't obey. He didn't do. He should have just did this. This was an open meeting to the public. Okay, let's continue.
But, here we are. I mean, ultimately, what you saw there is Texas Republicans doing everything they can to silence people because they thought that, by doing this to me, that they would teach me a lesson by sending me to jail and then I would just come out and be quiet about it. And ultimately what they just did, I mean, they're just so stupid. This is Republicans. They now ignited so many people, millions of people across America talking about how this gerrymandering scam is ridiculous and how failed their policies are. So, I mean, yeah, it was a terrible experience. Going to jail is not fun. But I think now I can come out on the laughing end of the stick because America has seen just how insane these idiots actually are.
The charge.
Okay, so let's be clear. There is a mad rush for Texas to vote on this. That's why he put it on the docket for them to review. They came out there with their new redistricting map so quickly. Why are they doing this so quickly? Because they expect it to be done not just in Texas. They expect it to be done in every state in the United States that has a Republican governor. That is why. This is the test case. They still have time to take it to the Supreme Court, who has just been abysmal with following the word and the meaning of the law in appeasing 45-47's fucking illegal mandates. Let's continue. Your vote is in jeopardy. I understand that some people don't get up and even bother to vote. You have to even look at the representation of Texas that you see around here. Do you think these motherfuckers are even bothering to vote? Bragging about their Section 8, always in a new, getting evicted, always in a new Section 8 apartment on some bullshit, and the apartments are empty. Look. Do you think these are voters? I heard somebody from Texas, they were talking something political about the budget, and they said, come to Texas. Texas got all the money. Someone who shakes their ass in an empty apartment. Do you think that numbnut is voting? Let's continue.
Was Mr. Martin refused to obey, which I hope we see on bumper stickers, right?
100%.
What happened to the charges? Are you going away for 20 years? I mean, I know the answer, but tell our audience just how ridiculous the entire scenario was from a legal perspective.
Yeah, all the charges were dropped. I mean, what was even funnier about this whole thing is when they take me up, right, they take me outside the Capitol, all the officers around me thought that, they were just going to say, like, okay, don't come back for the rest of the day or whatever, right? But the guy who tackled me, Officer Pillsbury Doughboy, as I call him, he goes and he gets this phone call. And he's waddling around, talking on the phone. I don't know who he's talking to. And all of a sudden he comes up to me and he says, you're going to be placed under arrest for resisting arrest and trespassing. And I thought to myself, first of all, you never told me I was under arrest. Second of all, how can you trespass in the state taxpayer-funded Capitol at a hearing that I was scheduled to speak at? Well, none of it made any sense. But again, it wasn't about them trying to actually put charges on me. It was about teaching me a lesson. They knew that sending.
Okay, the link is in my description box. If you haven't heard about this case, please avail yourself to this. Now, now I want to go to what Gavin Gavin Newsom is saying about this gerrymandering in red states. Uh, Here we go.
Well, with the midterms really around the corner at this point, political leaders nationwide are strategizing about how to retain or maybe even flip key seats in Congress.
Yeah, Texas's governor is calling a special session where redistricting is on the agenda, and Governor Newsom is suggesting California might retaliate if Texas redraws its maps to benefit Republicans.
ABC 7 News political reporter Monica Madden is here. And Monica, California's redistricting process obviously is very different from Texas.
Yes, very different from Texas. In Texas, the Republican-controlled legislature is responsible for its redistricting, whereas California uses an independent commission to redraw its maps. And Governor Gavin Newsom is saying that maybe California should stop playing fair.
They're playing by a totally different set of rules.
In an interview with liberal news outlet, the Tennessee Holler, Governor Gavin Newsom suggests California should abandon its independent redistricting process.
In a state that I assure you, with 2/3 majorities in the legislature, could gerrymander like no other state.
So what's the difference between redistricting and gerrymandering? We asked political professor Melinda Jackson to explain.
Redistricting is a process that is actually mandated every 10 years after the census in order to make sure that the districts are evenly distributed. We don't want to have a district that has 10 times as many people as the one next door, right? It should be approximately equal across the population of a state. Gerrymandering is the term we use to describe districts that are drawn to advantage one group or another. So even though the goal is to have approximately equal populations in the districts, where those district lines are drawn can sometimes get quite creative.
Because Texas lawmakers draw their own maps, the end result is often oddly shaped districts like these.
Partisan gerrymandering has not been found to be unconstitutional. If that state legislature is primarily responsible for drawing the districts, there's an incentive to try to give an advantage to their own party.
In theory, Newsom could ask the state's independent redistricting commission to redraw its maps, but most likely, California voters would have to sign off on any overhauls to the process.
And when the voters, directly have a say in something, the legislature can't just override them. It has to go back to the voters. In Governor Newsom's comments, what we're seeing is really some of the frustration on the Democratic side about kind of having a fair playing field in terms of these elections.
A reminder that California's redistricting commission is made up of ordinary people who represent the Republican, Democratic, and independent voices, but they're not current or previous office holders. And since the commission's creation, Professor Jackson says that California has seen more politically competitive districts, which she says is the goal in a democracy.
Right. All right.
Okay, so there's that. All of this back and forth, and this is the most democratic democracy, and this is what we expect to see. Well, is that what they expect to see in democracy in the red states? No, it's not. So here is, I want to show you a stark warning that the Democrats had better start playing ball like the Republicans are playing ball. This is an attorney. So here we go. What channel is the Lincoln Project? He is one of the creators of the Lincoln Project. The Democrats don't fight GOP's insane redistricting plan. It's game over. So let me speed him up just a hair, and let's see what he has to say. The warning. He said that if they don't fight like the Republicans are fighting, they risk not getting back into power anytime soon. Not just in the midterm election, in the 2028 elections.
Can straighten out here somewhat. Quick note: Texas has just released their redistricting map. I want you to understand what this means. This is war. Democrats, listen to me closely. We're going to put a link up in a QR or something on this page so you can see a link to an article I just read on Substack. It was private, but a very generous founding member bought 10 memberships on the condition that I make it public. So I made it public. Everybody can read this. This is the battle plan on how to go at the Republicans, not only in Texas, but in Florida, Ohio, and other states where they're planning to do this mid-cycle redistricting. This is called war. Democrats, if you are not thinking this through, please let this
mid-cycle redistricting. Mid-cycle because it is not a census year. This is 2025. The census is done every 10 years is when they're supposed to do this. This is why this is a mid-cycle redistricting.
Wake you the hell up. Republicans will add 5 seats in Texas, 3 in Florida. They're bragging about being able to get 5 to 7 in Florida. I don't think they can do that. And more in other states. This is your wake-up call to California and New York and Illinois and Washington and Oregon and other states. Do not think for a moment that preserving normality now is an important mission. Do not think for a moment, oh, we don't want to go down the same slippery slope they're going down. Fuck that. Wake up. Wake up. If they start this process, you must act in a way to countervail it. If they add 5, you add 7. If they add 4, you add 7 more. Ratchet it up. I don't care at this point about the legal niceties of this. If you allow them to take the House back by cheating with these bullshit redistricting plans, and the Texas plan, as a guy who's been involved in redistricting several times, I can tell you just one read of that map, it is apartheid. It is not redistricting. They have jammed every African-American voter into the smallest possible districts to create 5 more Republican seats. Democrats, this is on you now. Gavin Newsom's been very feisty lately on social media. Gavin, it's time to put up or shut up in California. If these fuckers do this, it's on you. Governor Pritzker, get your people together. It's time to go fight.
Governor Pritzker is the governor of Illinois.
Governor Hochul, I don't want to hear a word about it.
Governor Hochul, the governor of New York City.
Just go do it. Because Governor Hochul, your folks blew redistricting in the 2020 cycle, which ensured Republican seats in New York and ensured the Republican majority. Make up for it now. Get in there, call them into a special session, an emergency session, whatever you have to do.
Hate them.
Because right now, they don't think you can cause pain to them. They think you're too afraid. All of the Democratic governors and legislators who are out there, the Republicans think you are too afraid to follow them down this path. In New York, Governor Hochul, you could easily redistrict the egregious Elise Stefanik, the Gretchen Wieners of politics, out of that seat. You could easily redistrict Mike Lawler out of that seat. You could probably redistrict Nick LaLota out of that seat. Folks, if you let the Republicans cheat on this, you will give them the greatest possible gift they could have. They will cheat their way to the majority in a year which they will lose it in a fair fight. And then you will never get power back. You will never get a majority back. Because once they have the majority for 2 more years of Trump, that's the ball game. That's it. It's done. That's
okay. So the link is in my description box. I just wanted to share a little of that with you because it's a lot of important shit that's going on. It's a lot of devious type of shit that's going on. It's a lot of devious type of shit that's going on. Okay, so let me what am I doing? Oh, okay, I'm sharing myself. That's what I'm doing. I don't want to do that. Okay. So let me share this with you. You remember Bove? He was I showed you some of his confirmation hearing. He is the attorney who he's in the justice system. He works for the Department of Justice right now, and he was 4547's personal attorney in those cases that he lost. He lost and became a felon behind, if I'm not mistaken. He also was instrumental in telling. He had 3 whistleblowers come out and said that he was the one who was instrumental in the Department of Justice ignoring a judge call to turn the planes around, and if they have not taken off, do not let the planes take off. And to that, he said, you should get used to defying judge's orders. Now, he is getting he was 4547 had recommended him for the Third Circuit Appeals Court as a judge. But he's telling the people in the DOJ to ignore judges. And they had three. And when they were taking notes about a meeting about that, Al Grego, what is his name? Albreo, a guy who got sent to, where did he get sent to? El Salvador. He told them to tear up their notes. And when a lawyer went to defend the Department of Justice argument why they did take them to El Salvador, he was fired because they said that he didn't defend the Department of Justice position good enough. So Bove has also been implicated in the January 6th stuff, the arguments of why January 6th people should be pardoned. He's also instrumental in the Eric Adams thing. He's instrumental in the Eric Adams thing where they cut Eric Adams a deal that they would not prosecute him, and as long as he allowed ICE to go into prisons, which is against New York City law. So they said, we won't prosecute you. And they weren't willing to dismiss the charges, what is it? Without prejudice, which means that they could have, if he did something they didn't like, they could reinstate the charges with him, and thus they dropped the charges on Adams with the express clause that they could re-bring the charges up with him later. It was a quid pro quo for them to have access to detained prisoners who ICE wanted to deport. So, but what the judge did, he saw it for what it was, and he dismissed Adams' charges with prejudice, which means they cannot bring the charges again on Adams. There were 7 Department of Justice attorneys who quit the Department of Justice, people who had been there years, who he was demanding that they go and file for the dismissal of Adams' charges. And the first attorney was like, I have no reason to dismiss these charges. These are solid charges. And they fired her. And subsequently, 7, I think it was 6 or 7 more Department of Justice attorneys quit their jobs because they refused to go up there and lie and drop these charges on Adams. So I showed you a little of his confirmation hearing where he sat there all smugly. He reminds me of Count Dracula. He definitely looks like Count Dracula. He speaks like Count Dracula. So Republicans confirmed former Trump lawyer Emil Bove to lifetime appeals court perch. Senate Republicans, let me see, I gotta enlarge that. Senate Republicans backed Bove despite allegations from 3 whistleblowers about his conduct as an official at the Justice Department. These are all some of the things that he had done in the Justice Department. I just wanted you to know that he has been affirmed by the Republican Senate. This is what your Republican 4547 attorney. Let's look at a little clip about Bove. Here we go. And why? Well, I'm gonna let you know why this is important as well. Okay, let me expand this. This is a Face the Nation. The link is linked in my description box. I have to remove the banner. Okay, let me remove the banner. And let's hear this Face the Nation report on all the things Emil Bove has been up to.
Jumping to this now, the Senate has confirmed former Trump lawyer Emil Bove as a U.S. Appeals Court judge. Now, this is crucial because this is part of a lifetime appointment to the Third Circuit Court. He will hear cases from Delaware, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Third Circuit Court, New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. I'm going to let you know why this is important right now, how impactful having a motherfucker like this is in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, because there's a case that is going to appeals right now in the Third Circuit Court. I'm gonna. This is why it so he has won the seat.
Bove was one of Trump's most controversial judicial picks. 2 Republicans actually joined Democrats in voting against him. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer slammed this decision.
They reward a man credibly accused of wanting to lie to judges, with a black robe and a gavel of his own. And they're confirming him for one reason only. Mr. Bove is loyal to Donald Trump. Therefore, Donald Trump wants him on the bench.
CBS News Justice correspondent Scott McFarlane joins us now from our D.C. bureau to talk more about this. Help us understand, Scott, why Bove is so controversial.
He has his fingerprints on so many different high-profile, high-octane battles from this first 6 months of the Trump administration. He was part of the decision-making to drop that corruption case against New York Mayor Eric Adams, allegedly, so that Adams could help the Trump administration enact its border policies. He was also part of that Kilmar Abrego Garcia case. You'll recall that was the man mistakenly deported from Maryland to El Salvador. A whistleblower alleged Bove told his staff to disregard the court orders if need be, an accusation Bove denies. But he was also part of a broader purge era inside the Department of Justice. There have been so many firings or demotions of people who touched January 6th Capitol riot investigations, and many of the people involved say Bove was part of that effort.
And naturally, this is the result of any president winning elections. They can nominate these people, the Senate can confirm them, and they will have an imprint on the future of America, the interpretation of American law. How does this appointment then line up with the administration's recent battles with judges they disagree with?
Now, you've heard so many statements from the president and his top surrogates alleging that judges are overreaching, that they're legislating from the bench. Now you have somebody who clearly has ties to Donald Trump and a loyalty to Donald Trump who's been approved for a lifetime appointment. That's going to cause some concern among Trump's critics, but I also note that it's a long road ahead of Emil Bove. He is in his mid-40s, which I like to characterize as quite young.
Okay, so that link is in my description box. Why is this important? It's important because it's a quid pro quo. We saw him sitting next to 4547 as his defense attorney in one of these pictures. Where is that picture? Where he's actually sitting. This is him being 4547 attorney in New York City in some of his cases. That is him. Okay, so it's despicable. Why is this also important? Do you guys remember Alina Habba, another one of 4547's attorney? You guys remember her? You guys see her partying at Mar-a-Lago for months, and she is another attorney who when she was bringing motion to the court, the judges were asking her, have you ever did a case. What are you talking about? This is not how you bring in motion. And a whole embarrassment had lost every case or every motion that she put before the court 445 47, but he kept her around. Okay, judge ousts Trump ally Alina Habba as New Jersey's top prosecutor. So that's what she was given, the gift that she was given by 45 47. He appointed her the top prosecutor in New Jersey. If you don't remember this, she is the one who brought charges against the mayor of New Jersey when he was falsely arrested for all of these, all of the charges that were dropped, that he burst through the gates and all of this stuff. But she is also the one who still has the charges against the congresswoman who was brought up on charges in that case, whose job it is to review that ICE facility. You remember that big deal where they lied and said that they were bursting through the gate and they did all of these crimes. This is who's charging her, not someone below her. She is the top attorney in New Jersey. This to personally make these charges is beneath her office, but she has made these charges. So she was the interim top New Jersey prosecutor. That means her term was for 120 days. And after 120 days, she was to step down. Now, she chose someone beneath her, the first, the under prosecutor of New Jersey. So she refused to step down. So what happened, there was a panel of 15 judges, and why couldn't she get why couldn't she get approved? Because there's a thing called what is it? A blue card. There's a thing called a blue card, where if the senators from a state refuses to vote for a nominee, that nominee will not get the position. So the senators from New Jersey, I don't know who the second senator is. Cory Booker is one, and the second senator from New Jersey, they blue card her that her nomination could not even be considered. Now, this is a privilege that Cory Booker. Is he a senator? This is is Cory Booker a senator or a congressman? Whatever he is. I'm having a blank, but I think senators. Okay, so this is a privilege that they have. He's a senator. Okay, the two senators can blue card somebody. So she was blue carded. That's what happened. Her nomination could not go forward. That is a privilege that they have in every state, every 50 states. They can blue card a nominee, a judicial nominee. Okay, so her 120 days are up, and guess what happened? She refuses to leave office, and then guess what happened? 45-47, he removes her nomination. He removes her nomination for the position. They were trying to run game. So what he did was, I'm going to remove her nomination. And so, okay, let me go back. The 15-judge panel, after the 120 days, they put the second person in command in her job, which is their right to do as a 15-panel judge in New Jersey. So if that position is not filled, the judges have the leeway to appoint somebody. They appointed the second in position. She has now Alina Habba. I told you about her record. Her record prior to Donald Trump, she was the attorney for parking garages in New York City. Those were her main clients, parking garages. So the number two that she chose to be under her has been in the DOJ. I think she had 15 years and had a stellar record and everything. So she was number two under Alina Habba. So that's who the judge put in Alina Habba's position that she had to vacate, that she would not get a hearing to keep because she had been blue carded. So Donald Trump and Pam Bimbo thought that they were doing something slick. So what they did, they removed the nomination, and then what did they do to the number two person in the position that the judges gave her Alina Habba's position? They fired her. She had that position for less than 24 hours, and Pam Bondi, they didn't demote her back to her number two position. They fired her from the Department of Justice because she was elevated to that position by judges. This is what your Department of Justice, who they are not going to weaponize the Department of Justice like the Biden administration did. Oh, we're the weaponization of the Department of Justice. They fired this woman. And then what did they do? They put Alina Habba in the number two position, and then they elevated her back to the same position that she was in. And they thought that they had done a smart one. But then that's when the red cards came out. And there is no way that Alina Habba will be in this position. So where are we now? There was a case, a drug trafficking case that came up in New Jersey, and the attorney for this case said that they don't recognize this prosecution because the person who's bringing this prosecution does not have the power to bring for the prosecution. So they are holding up all of these cases because they thought that they did a maneuver. Now anybody who is charged by this bitch in a charging document are appealing their cases. Where are they appealing their cases to? They are appealing their cases to the third court of appeals. Who just got this job? That's why these jobs are important. This is who they are putting on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. These type of people. In New Jersey is where he is. I don't know if he's going to get her case, but I'm just telling you how all of this shit is very important. You have to pay attention to the shit that's going on. Now, the 15 judges who put the number two person in position, they are in the third court circuit, but they have to recuse themselves because they have morals and they respect the law, and they automatically have to recuse themselves because they are part of the case. Now, who's going to get this case? So I don't know. Let me see what you guys are saying. Insane. Remember to support and thumbs up and subscribe. Hey, Z Sarah. Who is this? Okay. So this is what's going on with that. Now, let me let Katie Fang and a couple of attorneys break this down to you, because I want you to be clear on why how all of this shit is intertwined. Okay, let me share my screen with you right quick. Here we go. This is the Midas Touch. Trump's awful lawyer refuses to leave and nukes the entire DOJ. I think may have to speed him up a little bit.
Attorney of New Jersey chair. It's not yours to fill. We know that because 17 different federal judges opposed you. And Donald Trump tried to do a workaround to avoid the Constitution and the obligation to have a Senate-confirmed U.S. attorney by naming you to some sort of special attorney position. But now the first of many, the floodgates are open. A criminal defense lawyer based in New York, working out of the Trump building, filed a motion to have the indictment against his client dismissed because Alina Habba is a fraud and she's not the U.S. attorney. And constitutionally, his client has the right to be prosecuted only by somebody who is properly nominated and confirmed. I'm Michael Popak. You're on the Midas Touch Network and Legal AF. Ooh, this gave me a happy feeling, warm inside. This is exactly what I said was going to happen. It was a little bit of a fight on the Midas Touch Network. Who said it first? Was it Michael Cohen and Ben during political beatdown, or was it Popak? It was Popak. I said that they're going to challenge, if I'm a criminal defense lawyer, I'm going to challenge the powers of Alina Habba to be prosecuting anyone as an illegal, as an unconstitutionally appointed judge. And now that motion filed by Tom Merigliano, who, did I mention, his law office is inside the Trump building at 40 Wall Street. I used to walk by that building all the time. I had an office at 100 Wall Street. It's a nice building. I know friends that work in that building, but it is a Trump building and Trump owns it. And it's one of the things that Trump used in the fraudulent loan program that he used, that he got shot down by a New York judge related to that building. So Tom Merigliano files his motion on behalf of his clients, and he says effectively, I'll boil it down for you, that he has the right, a constitutional right, to be prosecuted only by a duly appointed, properly confirmed U.S. attorney. Makes sense? This is how it was going to always come up. Sure, there are public interest groups that can try to have standing to come forward and sue to have Alina Habba removed. I just have been waiting, and I don't see those public interest groups coming forward. You know, Democracy Forward, ACLU, there's a whole bunch of them out there, but they haven't filed yet. Because the federal judges in the District of New Jersey, there's one big district in the state of New Jersey for federal courts. Sometimes federal courts are divided depending upon the size of the state. But she sits for the entire state, from the tippy top to the bottom Cape May and everything in between. So that because the 17 judges properly exercised their rights under a statute about 2 weeks ago to deny an extension of Alina Habba for an additional 120 days to keep that job, meaning Donald Trump would have to go find another U.S. attorney candidate that could get through a Senate confirmation process, they put in Desiree Grace, who was a long-time 15-year prosecutor. She had the job for about 18 hours. They appointed, because the statute says the judges can appoint and shall appoint to fill the role while the president gets their act.
She was the number 2 under Habba.
Together on their appointment. She got fired about 18 hours later by Pam Bondi. Not only fired from that job, she got fired from the job she held before she was elevated, which was the first deputy U.S. attorney.
The first deputy is the number 2 job under Pam Bondi. She got fired from that job as well because the judge elected her in an empty position that Pam Bondi was no longer qualified to have. Let's continue.
For New Jersey. But it took a lot of courage to do that, and she has, and she considers herself to be the only duly appointed one. In fact, Tom Merigliano, on behalf of his client, said that as much. So the only duly properly appointed prosecutor that he recognizes is Desiree Grace, who was appointed by the 17 judges. But because the 17 judges who are on this court were all involved in opposing Alina Habba or appointing her replacement, they all are disqualified and had to recuse themselves. So the Third Circuit Court of Appeals chief judge that sits over New Jersey, this is how this procedure works when there's a disqualification of an entire district, appointed another judge from within the district but outside the state. So he went to the Middle District of Pennsylvania, and he gave the case to Judge Brand, who will be sitting.
Okay, so he could have. This guy, Bove, is in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. He could have gotten this case. This is why what they're doing, they are not slick by half. They don't want to. They don't want to take the rule of law for judges who go against them. So what do? They put in a sycophant like Emile Bove that it has been proven that he has told them to disregard court orders. Where it has been alleged that he has told the DOJ attorneys to disregard court orders. So this is the administration that we're in. Okay, so the link is in my description box. I want to share with you some more information about the actual highlight Katie Fang. If you're not subscribed to her, she is in my description box because I like her because she actually reads the rulings. So here we are, Katie Fang. If you subscribe to her, go over there, and she actually give good information because she reads what the judges say.
Extraordinaire that she is, Alina Habba, as if she couldn't have wreaked already so much freaking havoc just having been the lawyer for Donald Trump in her amazing loss record. But now, due to her mean girl antics in New Jersey, struggling desperately to maintain her status of being an acting United States attorney, she's literally grinding federal criminal prosecutions to a halt. And I kid you not, federal criminal proceedings have been ground to a halt in New Jersey. So this Katie Fang News Channel video is for all of you, and I appreciate all of you. But for those of you in New Jersey, I want you to watch this video and I want you to share it with everybody, because if you believe in justice, the rule of law, and if you want criminals to be held accountable for their conduct, then you do not want Alina Habba to be your U.S. attorney. So let's get into it. Okay, so if you're following me here at this channel, you know I've been covering the insanity of the Alina Habba picked, who, by the way, is a Republican, who, by the way, is a career prosecutor in the rule of law. Wouldn't you then allow the person that the judges picked, who, by the way, is a Republican, who, by the way, is a career prosecutor in that office? Her name is Desiree Lee Grace. The federal judges picked her. Wouldn't you use her if you were the Trump administration, if you wanted things to be done for the people of the state of New Jersey? But alas, nothing is ever done the right way or for the right reasons in the Trump DOJ, because Pamela Joe, under the directive of Donald Trump, has basically included Todd Blanchard.
Pamela Joe is Pamela Bimbo, the Attorney General. That's who she calls her, Pamela Joe. I guess that's her middle name. I don't know, but let's continue.
As well, as I've covered here, in this mean girl burn book kind of energy of let's bully the federal judges in New Jersey into not giving them what they want. Let's fire Desiree Grace from her job. Folks, I'm not shitting you. The woman didn't even just get demoted. She got fired from her freaking job because Habba is so thin-skinned that it couldn't occur to her that maybe she just needs to get another job. I don't know, like ambassador of Greece. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. That's Kimberly Guilfoyle's job. But you know what? Kick her out of it. I don't care. But I'm glad I don't live in New Jersey right now, even though I do like New Jerseyans. I'm just glad I'm not there because this is insane. So look at this headline. New York Times, New Jersey criminal cases screech to a halt as Habba's authority is challenged. I'm not kidding you. In New Jersey right now, federal court proceedings throughout New Jersey were abruptly canceled on Monday because of uncertainty over whether Alina Habba had the authority to serve as acting U.S. attorney. Pre-trial conferences and hearings set for defendants to enter pleas were called off. A grand jury that was expected to meet to consider indicting defendants on new criminal charges, that was put on hold. And a drug trial that was supposed to start on August 4th in Camden, New Jersey, has now been moved to Pennsylvania. And that's where our next chapter begins. You want to know about that drug trial? What do I got? I got the legal filings. So, because all of the federal judges in New Jersey have been conflicted off deciding this case, a judge in Pennsylvania has now had to take on additional work by having to hear this motion. Defendant Julian Gerard Jr., this is his memorandum of law challenging the legality of the appointment of acting U.S. Attorney Alina Habba and seeking dismissal or alternative relief. Folks, it's a fantastic memorandum of law. It's a motion. It's only 8 pages, and it reads incredibly well. So hats off to Thomas Mirigliano, Esquire, of the law offices of Thomas S. Mirigliano, Esquire in New York. I have
that's who in the other clip. This is the attorney who actually works out of Trump's tower. This is his client, and he is saying that, hey, this bitch is not even qualified to bring these charges.
My friend, this is an excellent motion. Call me because I'd be happy to speak to you about it. But here's the gist of the memo and why he's seeking dismissal of the drug trafficking indictment against his client. or in the alternative, not allowing Haba or any acting U.S. attorney to be able to move forward with his client's case. What Julian Gerard is seeking at this time is the following. He wants a declaration that the current purported acting U.S. attorney for the District of New Jersey, Alina Haba, is holding office unlawfully. Quote, the irregular procedural maneuvers by which Ms. Haba has been designated and subsequently redesignated as acting U.S. attorney contravene both the Federal Vacancies Reform Act, rendering her prosecutorial authority ultra vires and unconstitutional. Ultra vires means basically outside her authority, outside her ability to do her job. Facing an imminent criminal trial proceeding under questionable legal authority, Gerard Jr. hereby seeks dismissal of the indictment or, alternatively, injunctive relief barring Ms. Haba or any assistant U.S. attorney acting under her purported authority from exercising further prosecutorial powers in this matter.
Which means no body in the Department of Justice in New Jersey can try his case, because she has no authority to even bring the case because this is not her office. Now, a little bit more.
So here's the refresher. Trump nominated Alina Haba to be the U.S. attorney in New Jersey. Bondi puts her in office as the acting U.S. attorney while her Senate confirmation proceedings are going on. However, the United States Senators, Cory Booker and Andy Kim of New Jersey, have made it clear they're never going to confirm her. So knowing that that's been in jeopardy and knowing that she's the acting U.S. attorney only for the term of 120 days, what type of total random machinations go on? Well, federal law allows judges, district court judges, to convene to pick the U.S. attorney once that 120-day window has expired for the acting U.S. attorney. So they did exactly that, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. They convened, they selected a woman by the name of Desiree Lee Grace. Now listen to the thing about Desiree Lee Grace. She was handpicked to be the first assistant U.S. attorney, basically the deputy to Alina Haba. Haba looked at her. Grace is popular, well-liked, effective, a Republican, and she got picked. So these federal judges said, we want Desiree Lee Grace. Peace out, Alina Haba. Go find another job, parking lot lawyer that you are. But Haba, being so hurt about what happened, goes running to Mama Pamela Joe and Daddy Trump. And in the end, they, as in Trump and Bondi, have the nerve to tell these federal judges that they did something illegal, that they did something improper. So what do? They fire Desiree Lee Grace from the DOJ. They make Haba the first assistant U.S. attorney. And because there's a vacancy for the acting U.S. attorney, by default, Haba gets that job back again. I mean, talk about failing upward. It is like the thing for the Trump DOJ. So what Gerard is saying in his memorandum is very clear. Haba's reappointment, right, her reappointment as the acting U.S. attorney directly violates federal law, because that federal law explicitly prohibits individuals whose nominations have been submitted to the Senate from serving in an acting capacity for the same office, regardless of whether or not there was a subsequent withdrawal of the nomination. Okay, so think about this. Trump nominated her. Her name was submitted to the Senate. Under federal law, once you have been submitted to the Senate, even if you withdraw your nomination, which Trump did to be able to allow Pam Bondi to do her crazy gymnastics to get Haba back in place, even if Trump withdraws Alina Haba's nomination because it was done in the first place, that triggered this federal law. And according to this memorandum, which seems pretty clear, Haba cannot be the acting U.S. attorney again. It's against the law. Period.
Okay, and what? Let's talk about these red cards. 4547 also tried to get something done about the authority that senators have to use their red cards. They used a red card, and she was never going to be put up for a vote. She was never going to win the nomination. So what does 4547 then do? Let's see. Here it is right here. He goes whining to another sycophant, Chuck Grassley. Chuck Grassley has been speaking like he had some balls, but he did vote for the big, beautiful bill, no matter what he said about it. So he goes to Trump calls on Chuck Grassley to have the courage to stop honoring blue. Oh, it's not blue. It's not red cards. It's blue slip forms. It's not red cards. It's blue slips. That's what Cory Booker and the other senator in New Jersey. It's called, I said red card. It's blue slips. And Trump calls on Grassley to have the courage to stop senators from being able to use the blue slips. Let's see how that went over in the Senate. This request for them to relinquish more of the powers that they have already relinquished to him. I guess he thought that since these senators are just roll over and do anything that he says, they were going to continue to do that. But it seems like they kind of like a little bit of their power.
Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley says he was offended by President Donald Trump's social media post, calling on him to end a longtime Senate practice that allows home state senators to approve or block some judicial nominees. In a Truth Social post Tuesday, Trump called on Grassley to have the quote.
Let's see what he wrote in this. He's pressed. This Truth Social post is long. Let me see if I can get it. Okay. Chuck Grassley, who I got reelected to the U.S. Senate when he was down by a lot in the great state of Iowa, could solve the blue slip problem we are having with respect to the appointment of highly qualified judges and U.S. attorneys with a mere flick of a pen. Democrats like Schumer, Warner, Kaine, Booker, Schiff, and others. What about the Republican senator of New Jersey who has used their blue slip as well? He's citing all Democrats: Schumer, Warner, Kaine, Booker, Schiff, and all and other sleazebag all have an ironclad stoppage of great Republican candidates. Now we understand that we understand that Alina Habba is by far not a great candidate, not even a great lawyer. She is a sycophant, and I believe it is my personal belief. I could be wrong. I think she has sucked many nights and days of flaccid dick and hairy balls. Just as my flaccid orange dick and orange balls. I do believe that's. I could be wrong. I don't know. Okay, sleazebags and all have ironclad stoppage of great Republican candidates. Put simply, the President of the United States will never be permitted to appoint the person of his choice because of an ancient and probably unconstitutional custom that if you have even one person in the opposite party serving in the U.S. Senate, he or she must give consent. No, both persons. It's not just one person. He said that this may be unconstitutional. When has he cared about anything being constitutional? Now he's worried about things that are unconstitutional. The right that senators have. It's not one senator. It has to be both senators of the state. Okay, so it may be unconstitutional. It's a custom in parentheses, because of an ancient and probably unconstitutional custom that if you have even one person in the opposite party serving in the U.S. Senate, he or she must give consent, thereby completely stopping the opposite party's nomination. The only way to beat this hoax is to appoint a Democrat or a weak and ineffective Republican. Therefore, I would never be able to appoint great.
Social post Tuesday, Trump called on Grassley to have the quote courage to stop using the forms known as blue slips that are.
I would never be able to appoint great judges or U.S. attorneys in California, New York, New Jersey, Illinois, Virginia, and other places where there is a coincidentally the highest level of crime and corruption. So he said, coincidentally, all of these states where I will not be able to pull off the bullshit that I'm trying to pull off in New Jersey, that just coincidentally, they have the highest amounts of crime. Okay. And corruption. He is pointing out corruption. And what he's trying to do with this job is corruption. Okay, let's the places where fantastic people are most needed. Senior Senator Grassley must step up like crooked Joe Biden did when he openly broke at least 2 times the blue slip scam. And like others have done over the years, let our great Republican judges and U.S. attorneys be confirmed. He should do this immediately and not let the Democrats laugh at him and the Republican Party for being weak and ineffective. The Democrats have broken this ridiculous custom on us. It's time that we break it on them. Chuck, I know you have the courage to do it. So he's saying that Chuck Grassley has the power to do this. And he said that Joe Biden was the one who broke it on his side. But if this is a rule, I need to know where Joe Biden broke it on his side. And why did Joe Biden have to be the one to break it allegedly when it happened to a Democrat judicial nominee? So if Joe Biden is the one who broke it allegedly, how come 45-47 isn't the one who's breaking it when it happens to him? Because it's bullshit. That's why, because it's bullshit. Talking about a custom. If it's just a custom that Joe Biden was able to break, how come 45-47 ain't breaking it? How come 45-47 is going to Chuck Grassley, who was so behind so far, and he needed 45-47 help him to win in Iowa? Huh? Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. Let me start back up so you can hear the commentary. I just had to get my commentary.
Quote, courage to stop using the forms known as blue slips that are submitted to the home state senators regardless of party. Senators on Capitol Hill came to the defense of the blue slip process.
President Trump makes a lot of comments about how the Senate should be run. I think he has his hands full with problems here and abroad.
Both Democratic presidents and Republican presidents have asked us to get rid of it. We never have, and I hope we never will.
Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader John Thune also defended blue, noting Republicans used them during former President Joe Biden's tenure.
Okay. I think are we caught up? I think we're caught up on the bullshit and the fucking fake shit that is going on in this administration, the unconstitutional shit that is going on in this administration, the things that can impact us for many years to come. If you don't stay in touch, pay attention. All of these things are not being covered on the for-profit media. Now let's get to Musk owning Tennessee. Now, I told you and I played with you some clips of about what's going on in Tennessee with Grok being approved in a with an NDA, the Grok facility that Elon Musk is creating that is spewing pollutants out into the community without even the state representative knowing that this was going to be built in the community of his constituents. We went over that, and if you don't remember, go back and some of my videos. And if you want me to replay it, I will replay it. Just let me know that you want to know about the Grok situation, how they're poisoning the Black community surrounding the facilities that they built without any approval, ignoring permits and all of that. So now I play with you a little bit of how Justin Jones, he is also a Black representative in Nashville. Now they're talking about, I wasn't aware. I played with you last week how they refused to let him go into a meeting regarding something that would be going on in his district. But I got more information about exactly what this is. They barred him from going in, but while they were letting other legislators go in. One legislator wasn't even on the list. He had approved with he had approved. He had checked in and was approved to be allowed into the meeting. And when he gets to the meeting, all of these people are shoulder bumping him and telling him to step away and he can't go in. But they're not giving him any good reason why he can't go in. Now, you remember when they got up and spoke out, him and two other, I think they're congressmen, two other congressmen for the state of Tennessee. They got dispelled from their seats, and not the white woman, just the two black men, and they were re-elected in their seats by their districts. Their district supports them, and they expect that these men are going to respect their district. Okay, so now I got the black story. Elon Musk is talking about building that underground little thing where you can go underground. You can drive as fast as you want, and you can get to a destination without going through traffic. He had one set up where you could. He tried to get one approved where you could go to LA, to San Francisco, I believe. The only working one he has is in Las Vegas. He has made. He has made pitches in many states for this underground fast highway. But Las Vegas is the only place he could get it. And also, understand that Tennessee is a place that is full of hard bedrock. And this is a place where he's trying to do this. Now we find out with this reporting that they are overworking the people who are actually constructing this thing, and they are running into problems. They are taking shortcuts. They are putting people's lives in danger. And the airport, they're supposed to be making it to go from the airport to downtown Tennessee, making the trip real short. Now, I know LA traffic. I don't think Tennessee has the same type of traffic where this is even needed in Tennessee. I guess they think that, oh, this is bad traffic. Oh, they don't know traffic till they know LA traffic. They don't know traffic till they know New York City traffic. So he is selling them this is what is needed in Tennessee. And fuck what happens to the people who are down there working. You know, he don't give a shit, in my opinion, about the actual workers who put this shit together. So let's see. Now, the airport district is the district that Jason Jones represents. But they're denying him to go into a meeting that they are digging under his constituents. And what about what is going to happen if there's sinkholes? What are the repercussions if something happened? He won't have anything to know about it or say about it. But there are other representatives in Tennessee who just are breezed right on into the meeting. Pay for play. Like he was able to erect Grok in another black man's district without the black man knowing about it and the effects that it is having on his black constituents. Is this the same thing that's going to? This is Elon Musk once again. I don't need Elon Musk, the South African Elon Musk, who admire apartheid so much. Elon Musk barred the person whose district that this is in from coming in the meeting and having any say. You know how they tackled the other black man in Texas. These people, these are the people who vote. These are the people who are getting access to all of your voting information, to all of your everything information. I just want you to know. And this is what they think of you and even the elected officials that you put into office. Let's take a look at this. And this is on watch list TYT. Okay, here we go.
Love Justin Jones, state representative there in Tennessee. This is a bit of a longer video. It's a few minutes long, but he shows up at this closed door meeting. It's a closed door meeting only to certain people. Let's keep it real. It's closed door meeting, and it keeps out anyone else that's going to get the information behind Elon Musk's Tesla tunnel that he's trying to build, I believe in Nashville, between the airport and like downtown. So Justin Jones goes to hear about it because he represents the people of that area, and he needs to pass along the information or maybe be a part of this public/private endeavor that Elon Musk wants to continue to enrich himself off of.
Yeah. Governor Lee bans Representative Jones from Nashville Airport Tesla tunnel announcement event in his own district. Now, who is this guy?
Let's step back out here for just let everybody come through.
Step back out here and let everybody come through. And he's like trying to go, like, fuck you, motherfucker. He's just trying to go for it. And his hands are on his chest. Let's look at the blocking that is done. Okay, I'm not going to interrupt.
That Elon Musk wants to continue to enrich himself off of.
Yeah, let's step back out here for just let everybody come through.
In this airport, we are by district.
I understand.
I'm here to get information. Casey Sellers, the governor's comms
Okay.
And that's who I might call to let Miles come.
Okay.
What is your name, sir?
Hey, I'm Nathan Butler.
What is your role?
So I work with Altitude Ventures.
Is this a part of the state of Tennessee?
I understand what you're saying. It is definitely. Can you hold on for just 1 second?
I'm here in my oversight.
Now, he works for a company, and he is barring a state representative, and he is a fucking he works for a fucking private company. He does not work for any type of police, any type of the airport. He doesn't work for anything but private interests, a private company, and he's manhandling a state representative in this manner. And he says, "I'm here in my oversight capacity."
I know.
I was elected to represent the people, 75,000 people who live on Murfreesboro Pike, who live around the airport.
I'm responsible for this, and I'm just trying to be respectful to my role. That's all. I'm not trying to be disrespectful to you.
As a representative of this district, are you saying that I cannot go to this event?
No, I'm not saying it has to do with you being a representative. I'm just saying I just need to check the list and make sure. I'm not being rude. I want you to. I know who you are, and I respect you. I've talked to you before. We've met.
I have not met you, sir.
Tell me your last name.
This is a representative who lives in the district.
I talked to you before, and I respect you, and that's why I'm putting my hands all over you. And I just got to check the list. And now he's pointing out this is a representative who does not live in this district, and he is being ushered right through. Let's see.
This is one of the state senators who does not live in this district. So if you allow somebody from Knoxville to come, not a resident of Nashville, who this airport is in my district, and that is.
I hear what you're saying.
She said she's not on the list.
Just make sure.
No, I've got the list.
And my husband's with you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, just excuse me, sir.
I'm a lawmaker just like this lawmaker here. This is private. So this is my district. If we allow us, this is about a public partnership. Murfreesboro Pike is in my district. This airport's in my district.
Sir, this is a private event. I should just let you through. Can we go talk?
You just let.
She's on the list.
She wasn't on the list.
She is on the list.
Didn't even look like your name was on the list.
That's because I filled in for the lieutenant governor.
Her husband was on the list.
Yes, he was.
I saw the phone in your. Can you show me on your phone?
If you'll come with me, I'll sit and talk to you.
Why is Cameron second law? He doesn't represent this.
Cameron, do you think they should let Jones in? It's his district.
It's their event.
Isn't this a state project? Isn't that why you're here?
Republican lawmakers are being allowed in. This is about a state partnership. This is within our jurisdiction as lawmakers.
Look, I'm just a little guy trying to do my job.
Who are you?
We're gonna go this way if it's okay.
This is about a public partnership.
Gentlemen.
This is how this project's being announced in secrecy and lack of transparency. I mean, this is not how government should work. Is anybody else being kept out or just black lawmakers? I know you're here doing your job.
I already told you you're on the list.
I know
we have to go by the list.
But who told you I was on the list?
The people that are up there front.
Those are lobbyists. I'm not elected to serve lobbyists. I'm elected to serve the people of House District 52.
Shut it. Shut it? Who are you? Who are you? Now we got a new guy saying shut it.
All right.
You guys are being this secret about it. Oh,
This is a private. This
You
is
just
a
took your name
private.
tag off. We're hiding name tags now? You gonna put on a mask next?
Now he's telling him to shut it. Who is he? He is Bill DeBeans, general manager of Hilton B&A Nashville Airport. What else?
A good advertisement for the Hilton. Keeping black representatives out of the ballroom.
That's keeping him out.
I saw you snap. and the door closed. That's what you did. I saw you do it. That's why you took your name tag off.
This is a state of Tennessee TDOT event.
Yeah, and I'm a state representative.
It is a state of Tennessee event.
So we just heard this is a state of
TDOT is Tennessee Department of Transportation event. And so what makes that private? The Department of Transportation. Nothing makes that private.
I hear that.
TDOT is the Tennessee Department of Transportation. And I'm here in oversight capacity. We just heard this is
She just said it's a state of Tennessee event. So you're keeping a state representative out of the state of Tennessee event?
This is not a state.
Wait, she just said it was.
But we were just told this is a state of Tennessee event from the airport.
She said I have it on camera.
So now we have proof. So now we have a basis to enter in our oversight capacity as a lawmaker for this district, where this airport is, and where this project is going to be constructed.
So this is a problem.
Who are you with?
I'm literally a volunteer
Who are
trying to
you
help.
with?
I'm just helping for the day. Literally.
Who are you helping?
I work for the registration table. That's
You're
it.
not here for fun.
Yes, I am.
Or who just come to listen? This has become a bigger issue. If you just let us, like every other lawmaker's allowed to go in there. He's Republican, he's white.
That's nothing to do with it.
It does. Senator Massey was telling me this because she's white and because she's a Republican lawmaker. This is the treatment that you are complicit in. So, but it's okay. You're doing your job. I'm doing my job. So we can just listen again. And right now the governor is speaking, announcing this project as a public partnership. So a lot of my constituents have questions how this underground tunnel will impact them. And so I'm just curious to see if this project will have any way to support working people who are commuting from Antioch to downtown to be our school bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, our hotel workers. So that's who our public transit should benefit, not I'm just a wealthy and well-connected, not just tourists. I've never been told as a state lawmaker that I cannot go to a state announced event where other lawmakers were allowed to attend. Have you ever had to keep lawmakers out before?
I have not.
I know you're doing your job. Who's hosting it? The state. The state? We all heard it. If this is supposed to benefit the everyday people of Tennessee, where are they? Why were they not allowed?
Who's hosting it? The state. But he was not allowed to go in. Let's continue.
And why were only certain media allowed in? Why were only certain lawmakers allowed in? Because this is not about the public, but this is about the corporate good, lining the pockets of billionaires like Elon Musk, who is a danger to all of us in our democracy right now.
Tennessee Holler does some great stuff, specifically within their state and also nationwide. But specifically there, Representative Justin Jones, state lawmaker there, couldn't find his way into that event that affects the people that he represents. So these hired goons with police officers there as well kept, shoving shoulders and elbows at him to try and derail him from going to an event where other lawmakers that weren't on the list were ushered in. Because they were the right lawmakers. They were the lawmakers that will keep secrets. They were the lawmakers that need to know the information about what it is that they're planning on other people's property and land and city, and part of the city. But the folks that Jones is trying to represent, they don't get a word. They don't get a say. They don't get any knowledge of it.
They don't get to know.
They take all the lawmakers that they've paid off, that they've given all the kickbacks and benefits to, and they say, let's have a meeting about how we're going to steal more land, more property, more resources from the folks that don't matter. It's taking other people's resources and benefiting it for yourselves. And you can't say it out loud because enough people, again, as I mentioned before, will have too much knowledge of how these things work and they won't support your asses anymore. Let me give you some details in case you hadn't heard about it. It's called the Boring Company. It's Elon Musk's tunnel digging company. And Tennessee Governor Bill Lee, they've announced this plan to build a 10-mile loop that will connect Nashville's downtown and its convention center to the area's airport. The project will be privately funded by the Boring Company and its private partners, names of which we have no idea. That's from the governor's press release. Now, the Boring Company and its local officials.
But how can this even let me make sure my mic is on. But how could this even be approved without bringing it to the people? It's already been approved up and ready to go. Pretty much like that Grok company that Musk has bought to Memphis as well.
Will now begin a public process to evaluate potential routes, engage community stakeholders, and finalize these plans for the project's initial 10-mile phase. They're finalizing plans over other people's lives and are not including these other people. More, in case you guys don't know about the Boring Company, Musk launched that company early 2017 after publicly noodling about the idea on Twitter while he was stuck in traffic in 2016. And it's taken many forms since then. Now, the original video that Musk put out there detailing his idea, which is now set to private on YouTube for some reason, it showed vehicles getting removed from surface street gridlock by an elevator meets sled system and lowered this into his three-dimensional underground network of tunnels. This was his vision. Musk also claimed during the first Trump administration that
one of the things that we need to know, was he high when he had this vision? We need to know, was he fucking tripping out on ketamine that he's alleged a recreational user of, but he claims that he is only use it as prescribed. We need to know, was he fucked up when he had this dream? And are these people who want access to rich people, powerful people, and don't give a fuck about the people who put them in office as long as they can have access to power? Are they letting him do a fucking pipe dream, literally and figuratively? Are they letting him get away with his pipe dream, digging holes in under bedrock in Tennessee? Let's continue.
Company had received, quote, verbal government approval to dig tunnels from New York City to Washington, D.C., and that leveraging this Hyperloop technology could make that trip in only 29 minutes. There's more. Like with other Musk companies, the pace at which the Boring Company operates, the same speed that the Tennessee governor's office praised in its announcement, has been a concern for some of its workers. More people they don't care about.
Okay, so they're applauding of the speed in which this is being done without consideration about the workers who are being harmed and hurt in it. Well, it's no more agencies. That's why he went through and cleared out all the government agencies who could hold him accountable. Who gives a fuck about the human workers? It's not about the workers. We are only to applaud the fucking rich people who put these projects into work. They rich people only make money. The employers who work for these rich corporations, they mean nothing to the bottom line, to the profits that these companies earn. How do the workers figure into that? How would a Amazon delivery driver how would he impact the fucking profits of Amazon? He's a non-factor. Okay.
Last year, Fortune's Jessica Matthews reported that a Boring Company employee told his then safety manager, "I've watched my friends get injured due to the fast pace that we've been running."
That Kilmar Abrego Garcia case. You'll recall that was the man mistakenly deported from Maryland to.
God, excuse me. I'm going to have to go back. I apologize. I have to go back. I messed up. I messed up that. Let me stop screen and let me go back to that. I hate when I do that. Please excuse me. Give me 1 second. We're going to continue. Okay, let's get back on track. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me find my place.
Now, the Boring Company and its local officials will now begin a public process to evaluate potential routes, engage community stakeholders, and finalize these plans for the project's initial 10-mile phase. They're finalizing plans over other people's lives and are not including these other people for some reason. It showed vehicles getting removed from surface street gridlock by an elevator meets slip.
Let's get back on
the
track.
fast pace that we've been running. I refuse to be the first.
Okay, these are the employees.
Last year, Fortune's Jessica Matthews reported that a Boring Company employee told his then safety manager, "I've watched my friends get injured due to the fast pace that we've been running. I refuse to be the first fatality in this company's history. No tunnel is worth a single person's life," he said. That same safety manager even spoke to Fortune on the record, and they said the conditions they were told to work in were honestly almost unbearable. They said, "I couldn't fix any of the things that were wrong." So outside of the fact that who knows what it is that this tunnel is going to be doing to the infrastructure of the city, how it's going to be built, whatever kind of inconveniences that could be made, or even how people are going to make money off of this, because as we know, oligarchs and these capitalists, these unfettered capitalists, that's all they care about. That's what they're trying to hide as well. But what they really don't care about is other people's safety. Now, this is how it's different, because one of these tunnels apparently was already built in Las Vegas. And that's what they've been giving as the example as to why this is going to be so straightforward and easy in this other city. As after it was already derailed in places like LA, New York, as that was talking about, New York to DC, and I believe Chicago. All those areas said, "Get the hell out of here. We don't trust your ass." Now they're going to Nashville. And this is the big difference. Nashville's hard rock formations make the act of boring more difficult. Perhaps more importantly, the city sits in a basin and has a foundation made primarily of soluble rock like limestone, and it's earning Nashville this karst topography designation, which means it's prone to sinkholes and caves as he tries to put something underground. This official Davis briefly touched on the terrain in his remarks, but described the stone as a speed bump, not addressing any safety concerns about Nashville's bedrock. They'll bypass all these issues that I just pointed out with the actual land in Nashville versus where they've already built one.
That is not Nashville. That is Las Vegas. Okay, so I just wanted you guys to know about that, how Elon Musk is taking his project to southern countries, southern states that are all down to feel important because this is the one thing, the access to power and money and riches that pushes them forward, and their constituents be damned. Z Sarah, I thank you for being here, and I thank the other two people who are in here. Please share the links, the information that I have put out. I think that this is very important information, I do believe. And I cannot, I must leave you with this. The people in Gaza are still starving. The real reason Gaza is starving, an ex-UN chief, let me see. I want to share this with you. I'm going to share this on my way out. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate your support. And like, share, comment in the comment section, and subscribe. And who sent this? One of my subscribers sent this to me, and I thought that it was important that people quit playing like we don't see what we see. And if it can happen to them with the power of the United States government, what do you think can happen to you under your own government? I'm showing you what your government is doing. So here we go. This is from the Double Down News. The real reason Gaza is starving. Ex-UN chief drops bombshell. So I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. If something breaks, I will be here tomorrow. So like, share, and subscribe. If you learned something, $ Ronnie Q to support the channel. I hope you guys have a great night or a great weekend if I don't see you on tomorrow. Thank you, Z Sarah.
Turn up in what is effectively a fenced-off cattle pen. When you see starving people turn up in what is effectively a fenced-off cattle pen, dehumanizing Palestinians to the point where they're being regarded as animals. They're being herded like animals into a human abattoir. For the last 6 weeks, about 1,000 of them have literally been slaughtered. And this is all being done in the name of humanitarianism. So to be absolutely clear, an army that has put a fence around a people, blockaded it for 17 years, has starved people to death, builds these agricultural pens, forces these starving people to come and get food aid from them. When they get there, they're targeted and shot, and then they're carried off to hospitals where there are no pharmaceuticals. I've always called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the GHF, the Genocide Humanitarian Fig Leaf, which is precisely what I think it is, because if you're going to get rid of UNRWA, you've got to reinvent some new thing. And what they did is they went to a bunch, literally, of cowboys, of former Marines and American service people, ex-servicemen, and said, we want you to do humanitarian work.
Contractors shooting in the direction of Palestinians who had just
The GHF. This is who is allegedly supposed to be taking food into Gaza. Not the regular relief workers from the UN. GHF is comprised of American and Israeli people who they chose to go in. And you hear what he said. They were. I played this clip for you guys earlier, a couple of weeks ago, or at least 2 to 3 weeks ago, they have whistleblowers saying that about all the atrocities. Listen to this Yahoo who is shooting at somebody who is starving, trying to get food, and they're acting like they're playing a game. Here we go. I have to give a little commentary, so.
They're shooting in the direction of Palestinians who had just collected their food.
Of former Marines and American service people, ex-servicemen, and said, we want you to do humanitarian work.
Contractors shooting in the direction of Palestinians who had just collected their food and were departing.
People who've been starved literally to death are crawling to get food. They're being shot at directly by marksmen, Israeli marksmen. Nearly 700 people have been killed waiting for food in the last 6 weeks. Over 200 have been killed on the routes going to collect food. That's about 1,000 people, not that many fewer than the number of people who were killed in the October 7th attacks. And yet...
Now, let me see how old this video is, because there are way more now who have been killed at these sites. This was 8 days ago. Way more have been killed now.
So little outrage. They said the big justification for the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, the GHF, was to stop Hamas diverting aid. And yet what we have seen for the last 6 weeks or more since it came into existence is militants and others, criminal gangs and others, nourished and nurtured by the Israeli army, encouraged by them to go and shoot people.
Its leader, Yasser Abu Shabab, is an alleged former drug trafficker. Now you also hear that Hamas is stealing all the food. So this is why they need to use these people. And then when the nation is, the whole world is recoiling about the starvation, they continue to say that Hamas is stealing the food. But you said you put these people in to feed the people because Hamas was stealing the food. So you wanted to stop Hamas from stealing the food. So that's why you are not allowing regular food agencies who feed the people so they won't perish in a wartime situation. That's why you're not allowing them in. Because Hamas is stealing the food. So you want to make sure Hamas is not stealing the food. And then when you show people starving, you're saying Hamas is stealing the food. Well, what are these people who you bought in because Hamas was stealing the food for in the first place? It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Let's continue. And up to 300 men are openly working with the new, much criticized aid distribution scheme backed by Israel and the US. But in the past, he's been accused of looting vast quantities of desperately needed aid.
That's what the GHF was all about. And it, for my money, it is part of the much bigger strategy, which is about ethnic cleansing and genocide. They're starving people out of the north of Gaza to the south of Gaza. When they get there, they're being shot at. And the clear message is, get out or stay here and starve or be shot dead.
We've seen an internal UN document from late last year that describes Abu Shabab as a criminal, a gang leader, and a primary figure in the systematic looting of humanitarian aid. And it says his base is in an area controlled by the Israeli military.
An Israeli opposition leader is making similar claims. Israel has provided assault rifles and light weapons to crime families in Gaza on Netanyahu's orders. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu responded by confirming he's supporting what he calls clans.
On the advice of security officials, we activated clans in Gaza that oppose Hamas. What's wrong with this? This is only good and saves the lives of IDF soldiers.
The label humanitarian is used by Israel to justify pretty much anything. So as long as you say it's humanitarian, you can do it. So a humanitarian city, i.e. a concentration camp, becomes acceptable because you're using the word humanitarian, implying that there's some kind of humanitarian effort. It's a bit like using the most moral, like Israel was the most moral army in the world. Is this the most moral concentration camp in the world? The Israeli army is the Houdini of modern warfare because they just escape, they get out of anything. And I think the philosophy is the bigger the lie, the more people will believe it.
We never target civilians.
We do not target civilians.
We would never target civilians.
There is not a chance in the world that Israel is purposely targeting civilians.
We're going out of our way to prevent civilian casualties.
The more you say we're not targeting civilians, the more civilians you can target. And that's precisely what's going on. And to make no mistake, Israel.
And don't forget, yesterday I told you that they are paying influencers here in the United States to take trips to Israel to learn all of that propaganda that you just heard, all of that propaganda that you hear them yelling and screaming on shows like Piers Morgan's and talking over people just to get their talking points out. They are paying influencers who have millions of followers to go over to Israel and take a all-expense paid trip to talk about Israel and all the greatness and all the fun that Israel is, and then they give them talking points to say, to tell them what to respond to when people say, well, what about this that Israel is doing to the Palestine people? They are giving influencer script to further propagandize this shit that's going on, because the world has started turning their nose up and speaking the truth to what we plainly see that is going on in Israel with the support of your tax dollars and the approval of the American government. Many of these senators, Democrat and Republicans. Okay.
Politicians hardly keep their cards close to their chest. Netanyahu, almost from the start, said, we will do an Amalek-type genocide.
זכור את אשר עשה לך עמלק, נצטווינו. אנו זוכרים ואנו נלחמים.
Amalek, this was the biblical injunction in the first book of Samuel. The Lord says to the prophet, go and kill Amalek, kill all of the tribe, kill their women, their children, their babies, their livestock, exterminate them. And not only did Netanyahu invoke this publicly, there were then soldiers in Gaza singing about Amalek. Posting Amalek injunctions.
ברוך השם, החרבנו להם שטח עצום, הרגנו בהם עשרות אלפים של עמלקים.
As they pressed buttons and blew up apartment blocks behind them. We have the intentionality to commit genocide, and we have the soldiers on the ground committing genocide. They've said it and they get away with it, and that's the problem. Western governments have let them get away with it. That's what's led to today. I mean, it is deeply ironic that the occupying power, Israel, whose job it is to protect a population, is starving it to death. What's also interesting, of course, is that that's one of the charges against Netanyahu at the International Criminal Court. It's clear evidence that these charges against him are going to stick, because we're seeing live streamed on our television Israel starving people to death and shooting them. So how ironic that an army, an organization, a country that has been imposing the blockade against Gaza has been starving them to death and yet is in charge of the aid distributions. I mean, how sick is that? When I first started in UNRWA in 2007, Gaza was the place that most needed a communications director. That's the place I spent most of my time, often 4 or 5 days a week. Gaza is a place I know well. I've spent a lot of time there. My own office has been reduced to rubble. And so, of course, it's been heartbreaking, not just because of the UNRWA operation being illegally cut short, but also because the people I know, the colleagues I had and the friends I have in Gaza, many of them have been killed, many of them have been driven into exile, and many of them are living homeless and in the most appalling concentration camps, as they're now being called, for 2 years or more. UNRWA, for many people, including the Palestinians, stands for their individual and collective rights. It protects the right to education, it protects the right to health, etc., etc. But on a much greater level, it also is an expression of an institution that protects the refugee rights, including the right of return. And for Israelis, who clearly feel that if the right of return were implemented, the Jewish character of the state would be destroyed, they see UNRWA, in a sense, as they might see Adolf Hitler, as someone who wants to destroy the Jewish character, the Jews in that state.
אונר"א הוא ארגון שמנציח את בעיית הפליטים הפלסטינים, והוא גם מנציח את הנרטיב של זכות השיבה כביכול במטרה לחסל את מדינת ישראל. ולכן אונר"א צריך לעבור מן העולם.
Of course, that's complete nonsense. There's nothing anti-Semitic about UNRWA. And in fact, all the allegations that the Israelis have made about UNRWA staff being part of the October attacks, none of that has been substantiated. It's the mother of all lies. And the independent Kelowna investigation, so-called after the former French foreign minister, found that Israel produced absolutely no evidence to substantiate its claims that UNRWA staff had taken part. And yet, a large number of donors cut off their funds to UNRWA. They bought in to this mythology that UNRWA had taken part in this. It was complete nonsense, but it gave all of the justification that Israel needed to try and get rid of UNRWA. For them, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get rid of UNRWA, so they quickly spirited through the Israeli parliament 2 bills which have outlawed UNRWA, and that meant it became impossible for UNRWA to operate. For me, the real shame is that the UN Secretary General never really stood up and said, we should turn UNRWA's main headquarters in Jerusalem, 10 acres, a huge, great property, into a surge hub for Gaza, and to move all the other agencies, World Food Programme, UNICEF, OCHA, all the others, into that. And that would have made it much more difficult for the Israelis to kick UNRWA out. That never happened. The UN, frankly, buckled and blinked, and the rest is history. UNRWA's headquarters in occupied East Jerusalem, which is the last big international presence in East Jerusalem, that is now gone. And actually, what's so terrifying but true, if you look at Gaza, it's a massive isolated Palestinian community where all hope has been drained and they're being starved of the essentials of life. And that is because the Palestinians truly are the dispossessed of the earth. They have been denied the right of self-determination. They've been denied the right to their own state. And now they're being denied the right to life on an industrial scale. And I use the word industrial advisedly because that is what, as we know from not too distant European history, was perpetrated against the Jews. And what we're now seeing today is people, a nation, however you want to call it, against whom the Holocaust was perpetrated. We are seeing those same people create a concentration camp in southern Gaza. How clangingly ironic is that? And
how ironic is that? Oh, and the whole world sat by and let it get to this point before they decide to make some little faint whisperings of this can't go on. But they not have they reversed all of the fucking aid that they have taken away based upon this person who set up here in with righteous indignation against a people. This is just, I'm just saying, if you never thought that you would see this again after what the Holocaust was, and for the people who survived the Holocaust to actually be doing it to other people, what do you think can be done to you? You see, our government is lawless. Let's continue.
Fear is that this isn't so much or just a concentration camp. I think it may well be a transit camp. People are going to be told, well, either you go, get off your land, you have no right of return, you have no collective individual rights, you don't have the right to self-determination, get lost. But if you want to stay behind, we'll simply starve you out. And that is the stark choice that the people of Gaza face today. It's hard to conceive of evil that's this bad, so it's hard to say, yes, I thought of it. On the other hand, once you have a people that can weaponize the Holocaust, that can weaponize anti-Semitism, that is a prescription for the worst kind of violence the world has ever known, frankly. And I think what we're now seeing in Gaza, it's pretty much up there with the worst violence the world has ever known. There is this great acronym PEP, which is Progressive Except Palestine. And I think it really applies to a lot of governments. They can be very liberal about some things. So I don't think that necessarily applies to the Trump administration, but certainly the British government here and other European governments, they are liberal on pretty much everything except for Palestine, where there is absolute fear of the Israel lobby. There's a lot of guilt about the Holocaust, and there's a lot of pressure and I think aggression and bullying from the Israel lobby. And I think those different dynamics play very heavily on Israel-Palestine policy. And I think that explains this concept of the PEP. There's a perfect storm, if you like, of dynamics that come to bear on this. And it's very unfortunate for Palestinians. You've got, these historical, these political, these economic, all of these factors that just, weigh so heavily against the international community doing the right thing for you. It's very clear to me that at the level of the people, we have won. There's clear acknowledgement on a mass scale that the injustices perpetrated against the Palestinians, the denial of their right to self-determine and the mass industrial scale slaughter they're now experiencing is completely unjustifiable. But it's at the level of government that the Palestinians are isolated. And that's because the Israel lobby is so much in control. I mean, the attacks on me are pretty much history, but there were quite a few attacks on me. Of course, I'm a raging anti-Semite, of course. The UN ambassadors of Israel started a campaign writing to the Secretary General a very public letter asking for me to be sacked, for my salary, my pension to be taken away, all that sort of stuff. But I mean, that pales into insignificance compared with what the Palestinians have gone through. I think the reason why the lobby has got stronger and stronger is because at every stage, Western governments in particular have simply buckled. And the lobby has been sent a signal that the more you put pressure on us, the more you make unsubstantiated allegations, the more you accuse us erroneously of anti-Semitism, the more that works and the more we'll give way to you. And so incrementally, we've seen the lobby empowered, but make no mistake about it, it is the complicity of Western governments in that empowerment that has allowed that to happen and has allowed us to get to the stage today where a Western-backed live-streamed genocide is taking place, and we still have a situation where no meaningful sanctions can be brought against Israel. And in spite of the brilliant report by Francesca Albanese, the UN Special Rapporteur for the Situation of Human Rights, she has shone a light into the profiteering from the genocide.
My report exposes a system, something that is so structural. The economy of the occupation has turned into an economy of genocide. And so there have been people and organizations that have profited from the violence, the killing, the maiming, the destruction in Gaza and in other parts of the occupied Palestinian territory.
In spite of that, governments aren't just refusing to take action, they're pushing back against her. And in the case of the US, they've sanctioned her, which of course is a violation of the UN Privileges and Immunities Convention. And it's a moral abomination that someone as brave and as fearless as Francesca, an individual doing a job for which, by the way, she receives absolutely no pay whatsoever, can have the most powerful government in the world threatening her in this way. It's an absolute disgrace. And what a shame that countries, the UK and others, Italy, haven't made a more forceful defense of her. I mean, that's disgraceful. I think the UN has to think very, very carefully about the sanctions against Francesca. Volker Turk, the human rights czar of the United Nations, spoke out. The Human Rights Council has made a statement, and others have. But the fact is that if you can sanction Francesca, why can't you sanction the Secretary General? The problem will come back to bite the UN on the backside if it doesn't stand up very firmly for Francesca. And on the imprisonment thing, I mean, in the UK, the government is using anti-terrorism legislation against demonstrators. I mean, clearly the legislation should have been used against terrorists. The idea of using this anti-terror legislation to imprison people who are protesting against a genocide puts these governments on the wrong side of history, but it is a very slippery slope. If you can imprison people for demonstrating against genocide, then, I hate to think where that goes, but it goes to a very, very bad place in terms of...
And let's not forget how they are trying to round up. They have canceled visas, green cards of people who protested at our colleges here in the United States, arrested a person who spoke up for the what's going on against the Palestinian people, did not support anything about Hamas. The man who missed his graduation was in a Louisiana ICE detained by ICE when he had his own green card. Let's not omit what is going on here in the United States. The support of the Palestinians is somehow construed into support for Hamas without making any any connections to these people who are supporting the Palestinian people? No connection, but coming on your for-profit media, making all of these unproven claims that these people are supporters of Hamas. However, when they go to court, they don't even bother to say that in court when they take these people to court, because they have absolutely nothing connecting these people who are trying to bring awareness what was happening to the Palestinian people. They don't bring any of this up in court. And these same this same government that is saying that they were right to uh, 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 to trample on free speech in these colleges. We have, I forgot to bring it today. We have a whole system of educators who are turning in the students who were protesting, and I forget their connection. They have they're being funded. They're being rewarded to turn in students who were protesting. Don't forget, Marco Rubio came out here and said that he had suspended more than I believe it was 300 visas or green cards from protesters. At the same time, do not forget what I showed you yesterday. All of these green cards and things are being, they're saying that these colleges and universities let anti-Semitism run rampant because people were protesting. But what have we heard about from our government about these white supremacists who are making these white-only communities who are not allowing Jewish people in? Where is the anti-Semitism rage against these white supremacists? When is ICE going to go and and raid their facilities? Oh, I forgot. Some government officials and are a part of this community. That the attorney who got to get around where they are not, where they hope will show that they are not violating fair housing rules. He found it hard to even say that the Holocaust was wrong. So isn't he an anti-Semite? Or is it just the educated people? Is it just the educated people that you want to indoctrinate into this bullshit and this fucking propaganda? Because who was it? I think it was Putin. It was either Putin or Hitler, who said that the first people that you have to get is the educators and the educated. Why do you think they're taking books out of schools? All of this. Okay, where is the outrage about this? There is none. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with being anti-Semitic. Nothing at all. It's bullshit. Let's continue.
Democracy. Well, the rule book's been thrown away. So the next time anyone invades a country, Britain, America, and others will be laughed at if they say, I'm sorry, it's a violation of international law. You know, Netanyahu, Gallant, and others are allowed to get away with invading, occupying. The occupation has gone on since 1967. You know, that has been, the international rule book was there. It's never been applied. But I think what we've seen with Gaza, we've seen the attacks on Karim Khan, the prosecutor at the International Criminal Court. We've seen all sorts of action against people who are trying to stand up for international law. There's even a story that's out recently that David Cameron, the then Foreign Secretary, phoned up the International Criminal Court and said, if you proceed with these cases against Yoav Gallant and Netanyahu, we will defund. A British Foreign Secretary phoning up an international justice mechanism charged with implementing international law and threatening to defund it. I mean, what better illustration can you possibly have of the attitude of so-called Western democracies towards international rule of law? And I think once that rule book has been thrown away, the world is in a very difficult place, because the whole idea of the Holocaust, for example, and the way it's been commemorated is never again. And all of the international law that grew up because of those appalling events of the 1930s and 40s, very much in response to the Holocaust and the treatment of the Jews, that's all being thrown away. And the hugely resounding irony is the reason that is being thrown away is the behavior of the Jewish state. And for me, that is unconscionable. Double Down News brands itself as the future of journalism. And I have to say, the more I consume media stuff, the more I think they really are the future of journalism. They dare
Okay, that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you guys being here to support the channel. $ Ronnie Q. Like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend. I appreciate you all being here. Have a great remainder of your night. Thank you for being here. Bye-bye.